Well, there they are. Probably we are very privileged indeed to see the greatest lineup of riders possibly in the world today, including the current world champion from England, current third place in the world title from Australia, the United States Stars. Ladies and gentlemen, let's sit back, relax and get ready for a great contest.
Thank you very much, Rod. Gentlemen, start your engines for the Winfield 25s, Tri-Nations Solo Super Test number 4, here tonight at the Newcastle International Motordrome.
Okay, they move up for the first heat of this Tri-Nation Solo Olympics, and the first rider up is England's Doug Wyer. That's Wyer of England up there. Going into number 1 is Billy Sanders. Coming in there is his partner, that's John Titman of Queensland, and there's the reigning world champion Michael Lee going into 2 now. Just checking the what the track might be as far as grip is concerned. 2 team managers out there. That's Eagleton and Bucock watching the start very closely. A lot of tactics go on in this situation. As you already heard Sanders point out, the Australian team machinery is wearing the only mufflers approved for noise reduction, thus giving the other sides a slight advantage in horsepower. Sanders up, then Lee next to him. Up comes Titman, then Wyer. And Sanders out of the gate like a rocket, but Doug Wyer went with them too, and there's Wyer going round the outside of Titman, followed by Sanders, and Lee, the reigning champion, is last. Sanders looking for the inside of Wyer, but Wyer knows his way round here. He's been round here before, and he's a surprise back at 2, and it's Doug Wyer. There's Sanders getting underneath Wyer, followed through by Titman, and Michael Lee is sitting in the last one there with somebody, and that's Wyer, I'd say. Wyer with motor trouble, and that's bad luck, but it's Sanders, the leader from Wyer, followed by Titman of Australia, and then Michael Lee, the reigning world title holder. Billy Sanders of Australia. Doug Wyer of England, followed by John Titman of Australia, and now Michael Lee looking for the high, wide and handsome line. Lee going up to Titman now, but it's Sanders all over. From Wyer, followed then by Titman and Lee in that order, and that's the way they're going to finish. Sanders first, Wyer second, Titman third, and Michael Lee finishes in 4th place. Great opening heat. Sanders out of the gate like as if he was fired by a cannon. He lost the lead to Wyer early. Wyer had a little motor trouble. They've recorded a time of 52.941.
Stand by, heat 2. Away they go, a beautifully even start, and it was the Americans that made the best of it, with Bobby Schwartz taking up the running. Phil Crump's tucked down tight and low, and John Cook's doing a good job in 3rd place. Now the American Eagles are doing just what Bobby Schwartz has ordered. They wanted to pick up points, and that's where they're at the moment. They're picking up 4 of them. Bobby Schwartz is the leader at the end of the first lap. Phil Crump is in 2nd place, the former Australian champion, knuckling down to his task now and setting out after the United States captain. Bobby Schwartz has the lead, but here comes the Mildura Flash. Phil Crump closing in on him. Bill Hearns looking to the outside of John Cook as well. Only 1 lap left to run here, and it's a race in 2 at the moment, with Bobby Schwartz holding out Phil Crump. Phil Crump is trying everything he can to possibly pick up the ground on Schwartz, but I think it's Schwartz who's going to model it up. With Bobby Schwartz on the inside, stating off Phil Crump, he got hooked up. Here comes Bill Hearn down the outside of John Cook, but Cook's got enough in hand too as he snuck a look back over his shoulder, and the Americans have done well. Very, very well, and that's a great start for them. Bobby Schwartz is first, Phil Crump is second, John Cook is third, Phil Hearn is fourth, and look at that time by Schwartz. 52.565 is a good half second faster than the Billy Sanders time of the previous heat.
That's Collins on the inside, riding from the 1, Phil Collins. It should be Moran, I think, the rider that's ducked underneath there. Ross tells me he can see from there. The rider in the red helmet is Phil Collins. The rider in the blue is Les Collins. On the outside here is Danny Pyatt. So that's got to be Moran up in the end. There he is. He's coming into my sight now, the tiny little fellow. And away they go, and by Jove, Les Collins bounced out very, very well indeed. Followed out by Moran, and we've got Phil Collins tailing the field. Les Collins leading away at the moment. That's Pyatt sitting in 2nd place. There's young Moran covering the field for him there, and looking at it. Phil Collins leading away here at the moment from Pyatt, followed by Les Collins now getting up underneath Moran. Round the corner they come and they're charging up with one flag to go, one yellow lap to go, and it's Phil Collins. Oh boy, look at Les Collins diving underneath Pyatt there, almost took him too. Looks like a 5-1 there for a moment to the Englishman. And here's Les Collins trying to make it a 5-1. Pyatt coming back at him, but it's Phil Collins who will win. Pyatt charges to the line, Les Collins and then Moran, but a great ride indeed by Les Collins. No question in the world. That was the ride of that race. The ride by the third place getter Les Collins tried desperately there to get to them, but as they went across the line, Phil Collins for England, Danny Pyatt scored 2 for the United States, 3 to Phil Collins. Les Collins scored 1 for England, and Sean Moran failed to score. And will you have a look at the time? 52.097. 52.097. Here's Ross to give you a check and the progressive total.
And that's the fastest of the 3 laps at this point of time, 52.097. Now, Phil Collins scores 3 and Les Collins scores 1 for the Englishman, giving them a heat total of 4 and a progressive total of 6. The United States, Sean Moran failed to score, and Danny Pyatt scored 2 points, giving them a heat total of 2 and they're 6. So at the end of 3 rides, Australia 6, England 6, the United States 6, we're back to square one. Billy Sanders and Phil Crump, the Australian pairing, Bobby Schwartz and Dennis Segalis, the United States pairing. Schwartz in 1, Segalis in 3, Sanders 2, Crump 4, as we stand by for heat number 4, and all teams are locked together 6-all. Away they go, a pretty even break it was too. Schwartz got away nicely on the inside, so did Phil Crump on the outside. And look at Dennis Segalis mixing it up with Billy Sanders on the inside too. And it's the United States American Eagles who are blasting away out front, but here comes Sanders right around the outside. Look at Billy Kid Sanders riding high on the outside of Schwartz. Schwartz won't give in though. Schwartz on the inside, Sanders right around the outside, and that's a high line pass by Billy Sanders to take up the running for the Australian Kangaroos. Billy Sanders in the lead from Bobby Schwartz. Then comes Dennis Segalis, and at the moment Phil Crump's got to try and get up into a point scoring situation for the Australian team. There's only half a lap left to go. Here's Phil Crump bearing down on Dennis Segalis at the moment, but it's not going to do him any good. He got Billy Sanders is going to come home first. Second place to Bobby Schwartz, third to Dennis Segalis, and a fine ride, and Phil Crump in 4th place. But a brilliant exhibition of outside passing by Billy Sanders, and congratulations goes to him from Bobby Schwartz as they make their way to the pit gate area. An excellent exhibition of high outside passing, despite the fact that Schwartz had the inside advantage.
Coming up to the line, it's heat 5 in this Tri-Nations test. And Phil down there, Les Collins with to move, and Hearn went away, but there goes the English rider Alan Graham right around the outside, and it's Graham that takes up the running from Hearn, followed by Collins and then Gulimi. Round the corner they come, and they're packed up pretty tight here, and Gulimi is setting out after the leader, but it's Alan Graham. Graham away here from Hearn, followed by Collins. Gulimi has got the drive in the centre, but there's Collins staying down tight and close. He's looking for Hearn here, and still the leader is Graham. Alan Graham of England. You can throw a blanket over the others. Graham with 1 to go, leading away here from Hearn, followed then by Collins. Oh, look at that brilliance of Collins. Oh, he tucked that wheel right in underneath Hearn there. But down the back straight away they go, and it's Alan Graham of England, Phil Hearn of Australia, and then Les Collins of England. Gillimi has got it out at the moment. There's nothing in it. They come to the line. Yes! And it's England first in the person of Alan Graham, second place to Philip Hearn of Australia, third place to Les Collins of England, and Gary Gulimi of Australia failed to score. What a great performance by top riders there. Let's check them down as they went over the line. Alan Graham of England first scored 3 points. Philip Hearn of Australia scored 2 points. Les Collins of England scored 1 point. Gary Gulimi of Australia failed to score. and that gives England a total of 4 points, Australia 2 points, and now we'll check the time at 53.133, and we'll go to Ross for a progressive.
On the Winfield score chart for our Tri-Nation Series, Super Test number 4, as Rod points out, it's an England heat total of 4 points. That gives them a progressive total of 10. 6 they were before that point of time, so 6 and 4 make 10. The Australians scored 2 there, and they go on to 11 points, with the United States still on 9. Of course, they didn't compete in that particular heat. So we still have one more heat to go, and then we'll be all square again with 2 rides for each particular team at the end of heat 6. But midway through this second round, what might we call it, the Australians lead with 11 points, England with 10, and the United States with 9.